What is up, guys? It is me, boy Kwis, and we're back with another video. And this is the last video. The last Tekken. That sounded so crazy. This is my last video. No, this is the last video I will be making on the subject of Tekken 7 for the foreseeable future. Anyway, I'm sure at some point we'll return to the game and do something, whether talk about the game. But you know, as I'm making this, is the 25th of January. It is. Some people already have Tekken 8 right now. Again, be careful of spoilers. But yeah, later on tonight there'll be a launch party in London for the game. I will be there no matter what. And yeah, there'll be some exhibition matches. I think I'm playing an exhibition, so I don't think there's a stream for it. I'm sure I'll let you guys know how it goes. But this is a video I was actually dreading. I really had been putting off making this video because every time I think about making this video, I just get like really emotional. And I know it's dumb, you know, I know it's just a game, but bro, this game has been a journey. For me especially, you know, this game has changed the course of my life irreversibly, for better or for worse. And I just wanted to have this video here, just I guess to talk about the game, talk about the journey it's led me on, talk about how it's literally changed my life. And if you're not here for that, you know, I'm sure there are some people more here for gameplay, etc, discussion videos. I get that, I understand, you know, but I just want to say this video, that's what it's all about, man. Tekken 7, and basically how I became Kwis, you know. So strap on in, hit that subscribe button if you're new, because again, you know, this might be, some of you guys find out this might be new information for a lot of you guys. You know, I don't know when you guys join the Kwis journey, you know, subscribe to the channel, start watching the streams. Some of you guys been here for ages. Some people, I see their names in the comments, been seeing them for a long time. You know, Melvin China is one of the names that always comes to mind immediately. But yeah, I think it's amazing just to be able to look at someone's comments and realize they've been here for a long time, and again, all because of this game. I guess let's start at the beginning. You know, that's the best place to start. Tekken 7, it comes out, and you know, I remember some 19, 20-year-old thinking, oh yeah, I used to play Tekken when I was a kid, man. Like, bro, like I could be a pro now. I'm sure there's a pro scene. I'm sure I could, you know, like that was straight on my mindset, you know, never being a part of any competitive game. I was always a gamer, my entire life. But Tekken 7 comes out, like, bro, I used to play Tekken. You know, me and Warren, like, I could do this, I could do it, you know what I mean? And one of the first things I ever entered, no, I think literally the first, like, anything compare ever entered was bro, shout out to King J. King J did this thing called the King J Rumble, like within the first month or two of the game, and it was aimed towards like newer players, right? So I think I was warrior rank at the time, which wasn't a low rank at the time, to be honest. Like, if you had, like, back in those days, if you had like Vanquisher, if you had red rank, if you had Genbu, you were good. Like, you were good at the game. If you had Genbu rank, red ranks, especially on PlayStation, you were, you know, that's where a lot of pro players were at that time, red ranks, Genbu, and stuff like that. So I was warrior rank, and it was literally King of the Hill style thing, and I won the whole thing. Shout out to Jay for that. My username was different back then. If you know what my username was back then, like say let me know in the comments if you guys know. But I'm sure none of you guys actually know, because that was a long time ago, and none of you guys would have known who I was back then. But yeah, I won the whole thing. And then there was an offline tournament in London, District G War. First ever offline tournament I went to within like a month of playing the game. You know what I mean? Like, and I remember pulling up to that event, like, yeah, man, like, I won that King J Rumble. You know, I think I can beat these guys. Like, I remember watching gameplays. The first, I remember watching gameplay like players like Kane and Trench, and Jay, and like Asim and Rukang. I remember watching their gameplay, and I was like, oh, yeah, I could beat these guys. Like, if I see them doing this, like, bro, I was proper. Like, obviously, bro, some 19, 20-year-old pulling up to his first ever offline, think he's gonna win the thing, man. But obviously I didn't win the tournament. I think I went like 2-2 or something. which wasn't bad. I won my first game. I think I won, and I lost my next game. I think, who did I play? I think the second guy I played, what his name was, like Mr. P or Mr. T or something. He played Josie. And then he beat me. I played someone else, and then I had another game against Senpai Shiki. You might know him as Chords. Literally became my teammate years down the line, and I lost him. I was like, you know, I felt good about it, you know. I was like, okay, like I felt good, you know. I played all right. I played that goal. Like, listen, if you see my old gameplay back then, I was arse. But yeah, I met King J at that event as well. I went up to him and was like, oh bro, I was the one who won the King J Rumble. Who's like, oh shit, what's up, man? Like, bro, it's funny how like me and Jay go that far back technically. And then through the trials and tribulations, shall I say. And then, oh my god, no, I remember as well, shouts to Haroon. Oh my god, this was the first ever tournament I met Haroon, who at the time was probably the best warring in the UK, maybe Europe. And I remember, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, there would probably be no K-Wiss the way he is now without Haroon, because I remember watching him. And I was like, okay, this guy's good. I think he got top 4 or something at that tournament. I was like, bro, he's using Hwoarang. I said to myself, that's the guy. I've got to beat that guy first. You know, like I set a target, you know, at him, right? So like literally no, without Haroon, I don't think there'd be a K-Wiss. I'm gonna be so dead ass. I don't think there would be a K-Wiss without Haroon, because literally having that was my first goal, you know. And again, everyone was so friendly as well. First year event, you know, I'm literally putting up to my first event, talking to these players who've been around for a minute, playing since tag 2, etc. And like, yeah, bro, shouts to Haroon for real for that. And yeah, so I was like, my first ever offline was like 2017, I think, something like that. And you know, I just tried to keep going to more online or offline. I wanted to be involved, you know. I wanted to be involved. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to, like, I was, bro, if there's Tekken to be played, I want to be there, you know. I went to any tournament I could. There were some smaller tournaments I was going to and stuff, and like literally anything and everything, I was there, you know, because I just wanted to, you know. I think my problem was back then, especially, was I didn't want to get better. I wanted to win. My goal was to win, you know. It wasn't about I need to get better. Like, that was obviously like to me, getting better was just would be just a byproduct of winning, if you get what I mean. Like, to me, winning was the main goal, not, you know, improvement. I was like, I was like, I can do this. I know I can, you know. And I think that was definitely a bad mindset at the start, but like everyone around was so, like, you know, cool and welcoming. And I think my first ever major tournament was must have been 2018 versus fighting. So like the year after, you know, I've been like traveling all over the UK and bit. I've gone to, like, you know, Leeds and, you know, just multiple places around London as well. And like I've just been traveling, you know, around London. And the versus fighting's coming up. It's a major event. Funny enough, before versus fighting that year, there was a tournament called Albion, and it was the winner of that tournament would have got free travel and accommodation to versus fighting. It was a pretty small event. I think it was like only like 40 players that had signed up, right? But I remember it was the first time I'd ever played against Gosane there. I don't think I played him in tournament, but like I remember I didn't win the tournament. I think I lost just before top 8 or top 16 or something. That was the first time I think I ever spoke to Gosane and played against him. And also it was literally the first one I ever commentated. I remember before top 8 or something started, they would look around as like, oh, like, you know, is anyone here? Can anyone here like commentate? And like Pun Life was there as well, and a few other people. And like I said, oh, I can give it a go. I sat down on the mic, sat down with Pun Life, and yeah, just started commentating, you know, for the first time. I think a lot of the things I learned from commentating, like generally, it was just a very, I don't know, I feel like it was a smooth experience. If that VOD is still live, it probably isn't. I probably look back and I'm like, damn, like I'm so, yeah, looking back on it, it feels like a smooth experience, but it probably wasn't. And then, you know, had versus fine coming up, and around that time I got my first ever sponsor, my first ever like org interaction was with this small team in the UK called Emery's. Like it wasn't anything really special, you know. They had jerseys and stuff. My jersey never arrived in time for me to like wear it at a tournament. Before, so I was just a part of them, but like I was never like actually, I don't know, it's weird to say, you know, like I never got my jersey in it. Like I literally, that's the jersey and hoodie I think is probably still in my wardrobe. Like yeah, I never got to wear it in time for a tournament. But yeah, no. And you know, the shouts, I think the guy was Beef Squad, shouts to him. Because he used to like those small tournaments, like he used to like help with travel and stuff like that. Like really it was just like a very like grassroots type thing, right? And like not too long after that, you know, Elf East London Fires, which unfortunately they don't run in the UK anymore. You know, I got picked up by them. You know, Vern hit me up. He was like, "How things go with Emery's? Want to join DSL?" It was Dragon's Day and Elf. Want to join DSL? That's our pro team, and I had, you know, players like Gosane on there. You know, Senpai Shiki, Chords, the guy who, you know, beat me at my first ever tournament. So yeah, join them. And then if you're like familiar with the UK scene, that's around the time there was the rivalry. There was the three teams in the UK. There was Rise, DSL, and 200k. Like those were the three teams in the UK really competing. And like Elf's best was like me, Gosane, and Senpai Shiki, and 200k had Eddie at one point, but then he left, and there was Kerbery. They had Senior for Fala. And Rise had Chicken Maru for quite a while actually. That around this time was when Chicken Maru really started to become a problem. But like a lot of other players started to come up as well, especially through Rise. Like they had False God. Or a lot of these names are really throwbacks to me. Like I feel like I gotta like reach out to some people, because just thinking about this is making me hella emotional, you know. Just so many of these are old names I've not heard in ages. Yeah, that rivalry started to pick up between the teams. And yeah, 2019 was the first year I ever traveled internationally. You know, went to Poland for Fighting Game Challenge. Poland was a master event. I remember I played in the Roma, and I remember, man, this was insane. So I remember it was in my pool. So the pools were released, and in my pool I had Mihawk and Bode. Here's my thing, right? Because I'd never traveled internationally at that point, but I've been watching a lot of tournaments. And around the time is when I started to stream as well. End of 2018, start 2019 was around the time I started streaming. So I'd watch a lot of tournaments, and I'd just be like, I'd watch all these guys play and be like, listen, I know I can beat these guys. And it's something it's something I've always had. I still have it to this day. You know, I watch certain people, I'm like, I just know I can beat this player. I just know I can do it. I don't see anything that makes that match unwinnable for me. And the further we get in this story, and I keep talking, you guys will understand why that mindset was a good and bad thing. So I knew I had Bode and Mihawk, and these two obviously were very established European players at the time. And like I said to myself, like, because that was around the time Solid Rose, player from London, Wayne, he always said to me, well, he said to me before that tournament, like, do you have what is your goal? And I just said, you know what, just make it out of pools. You know, I want to make it, like, I didn't say winner side, loser side. I want to make it out of pools. At Bode and Mihawk, I knew it would be difficult, so I was like, make it out of pools. And like since then, I've always tried to set a goal for a tournament, a very manageable goal. Something like beat this player, top 16, top 8 here, etc., etc. Because that's very important to set a goal that you can try and attain for yourself. And yeah, I knew going into it, Bode, Mihawk, these are the two guys. I think I had to play Mihawk first. I had to play Mihawk on stream. It was like my second or third game that day. It was my first ever. Well, actually, no, it was my second Master event, because I went to Versus Find that previous year. But like my first time ever being on stream at Masters event. I remember I had to play Mihawk, and it was a close game, 1-1. It ended up being 2-1 to me, right? I remember I just popped off like crazy, because it was like, for me, it was like my I'm here moment. You know, it was like, I'm here. You know, people in the UK and London, they've known about me for a while, but like I'm here in Europe, I'm a problem. You know, like I popped off. I was like, yes, you know, I did something. You know, like. Yeah, I did it, man. I did it, you know. So I remember I popped off like crazy, and I had to play Bode off stream. And that was a funny game as well, because shout out to Bode as well. He's been such a lovely guy over the years as well. I've actually never spoken to him about this though, funnily enough. My time's been to his tournament, just interacted. But I had to play him for winners final of my pool. And he was playing Julia at the time. Julia was kind of new. And again, I didn't have the legacy knowledge. So I was like, okay, what do I... You know, I just kind of just did my thing, really. And I remember I won, and I remember, so the thing is, I don't really pop off like that anymore in tournament, but I remember I popped off like I won, because I was like Apple winning side. I can't remember if it was 2 or 2-1. I just get up and I just go, yeah. And the thing is, it was off stream setups. So obviously a lot of people playing, people popping off, but like I was literally like surrounded by Italians at the time. because like the way people were watching the setup, like I didn't have any, because other people, a lot of my other friends in that team were playing on stream. So like I was kind of like by myself, and I just went, yeah, like I just popped off like crazy. And it was very silent when I did that. I was surrounded by Italians, so you could imagine, like, yeah, they probably didn't want me to win. And then so I was through to top 32. In the next day, and the next day I had to play Naroma. And like I remember it to this day. So he won 2-0. But the first game he won off it was final round in the first game. I think I did Rage Drive. And I waited for a second because he had Rage. I was like, okay, he might try and Rage Art. So I waited for a second. He didn't do anything. So then I dashed in, then pushed the button, then he Rage Arted. And I always think about that moment. If I was just a bit more patient, I could have taken the first game. Either way, he won it. He had good knowledge of the matchup in a way that, like, you know, I wasn't expecting at the time. So he won that. Played a few more games. Then I played Asim on stream. First time I ever played Asim, UK legend. You know, the first Pakistani player to really make a mark, I guess. He ended up beating me and making it to the top 8. But I was like, bro, and I did something cool on streaming. It was the first time I did the core circle back to mix that stuff against Geese, like on stream. And like, people were like, whoa, what the fuck? I didn't know Warren could do what the hell. I didn't know that was a thing. I remember, I think I got like Muse. If you know Muse, the legendary horror player, he actually followed me on Twitter or Twitch. I can't remember after that. So that was a really good moment for me. But yeah, I made top 16 my first ever master event. I was like, I'm here, man. I'm that guy. And then yeah, and around that time is when content slowly starting to pick up, like 1,000 views on some video here or there or whatever. Like just slowly starting to pick up, man. And you know, then there was versus fight in that year. I don't remember I doing particularly well at versus fight. I remember I lost to Asim again. I don't know who I lost to in losers. In fact, should I actually look it up who I lost to? Now let's see. Oh, Vaughn. I remember this one now. Yeah, I lost 2-1 to Vaughn. Because he picked Ling. And he's actually typically an anime, but I remember he picked Ling, and I was like, okay, like I know how to play around the matchup generally, but Ling versus Hwarang is like really bad. So yeah, I remember that actually. You end up winning off of that. Gosh, that just brought back a repressed memory. And then actually biggest moment in 2019 was my first ever major top 8. Clash of Olympians in Greece, challenger event. You know, I remember the day before. The day before was the first time. Now this is the day before clashing. There were a bunch of like people playing casuals, and like we were doing like a rotate first to 2 type thing. Kaipo was there. I think Asim was there. Me and Chikamaru were there. We were traveling out together. Go Same was there. Spag was there, and it was the first time in my life. This casual setup here was the first time in my life I ever played against Super Akuma. And to 2019, first ever time in my life I played casuals against Super Akuma. That was the first time, and that was the beginning of a legendary rivalry. If I do say so myself, you know, the way that match is shaped up over the years. Yeah, that was only casuals, but like the next day tournament started. I made out my pool on the loser side. Kaipa was my pool. I lost to Kaipa. I had to play a bunch of other players. You know, I beat the Phantom. No surprises there. Got a bunch of players. And I think I was in like top 12 or something like that. And I had to play Blackbeard on stream. Adnan. First time I ever played him in a tournament setting. And I beat him. I think it was 2-0 to get into top 8. It was like my first ever top 8. And I was like, damn. You know, my first ever like big, like I've been top 8 at local events and online events. My first like major top 8. I was like, damn, you know, that's crazy. I could go all the way. You know, like I'm playing well. I was like, I knew John Ding was. I'd played John Ding casuals before. I was like, I could beat him. You know, I was super because I can beat these guys. You know, I was like, I look at the guys in top 8. I was like, I can do this, man. I remember Bode was in top 8. I was like, bro, I beat him before. I can do it again. And my first game of top 8, Sephi Black 2-0s me. You know, and again, I think that was the beginning of another legendary rivalry, you know. And again, fun fact, that's the only time me and Sephi Black ever played offline in tournament. And I remember I said to Sephi, I think it was at Evo 2 years ago. I said to him, like, because Sephi, a lot of people ask me, like, are you ever going to retire, do commentary, just commentary? I said to Sephi, I'm like, I can't retire until I beat you offline. You know, all my wins against Sephi have always been online. I've not beaten him offline yet. So I can't retire till I beat Sephi offline. But Tekken 8's coming, he doesn't make it up. So and then yeah, I think a week after that or 2 weeks after that, there was a tournament in London, another District G event. A Super Cream and Tishimon came down. And you know, I just went there. I was like, listen, good competition, you know, Gosane went as well, like these are top players. Yeah, let me just go there, see what I can do. And I was feeling good after my, like, you know, my challenger event top 8. I was like, look, bro, I can do this, you know. And I play first few games, do well. Then I have to play, it's winners semi-final, and it's me versus Super Akuma. First time I ever played in a tournament, and I won. You know, first time I played Super Akuma tournament, I won. I think it was 2-0. I think it was 2-0 because you got infinite stage first, because I beat him 2-0. Then I had Tishimon win his final. And it was the second time I think I'd ever played against Tishimon. He won 3-1. I'd lose his final against Super Akuma, goes to final round, and he hit me with an absolutely ridiculous EXDP. I couldn't believe it. I remember being so distraught. It was final round. I could have done it. And again, the funny story about this tournament. So, Super Akuma wins is him versus Tishimon grand finals. And I'm pretty sure Tishimon wins. And so I finished third. I was like, okay, you know, first place Tishimon, second place Super Akuma, third place me. It's not bad. You know, those good players, someone like Dinosaur, Gosane, they're very good players at this tournament. So I was like, okay, cool. I can feel good about that. I walk up to the organizer after the event, and I was like, oh, by the way, how's payout being handled? And he just looks at me, and he's like, why are you asking? I'm like, what? He's like, it's a top 2 payout. And when I tell you, I just in that moment, I was just like, oh, okay. Like, again, I've never heard of like tournaments that like pay out for, like, I know tournaments that pay out like for first place. Like, normally it's like either just first place, winner takes all. You know, that top 3, top 4, or top 8. But this one, the tournament I happened to finish third, was a top 2 payout. And I was like, okay, say less. But yeah, I think that really closed out my 2019 as well. And then obviously 2020, the world shut down, you know. This game was in its last legs. But again, I think, you know, that's where my streams and everything really started to pick up. You know, I think so around 2019 was when I started to make a push for partner, and I was doing really well on my stream viewership. And in 2020, like, I got the partner badge. Streams were picking up, you know, people started to, you know who I was, you know, like some people like, oh, that's that guy who got top 8 in Greece. You know, I had a lot of Huaring players, like, you know, started following me around that time. And yeah, and then 2020 because again, I started commentating a lot in 2019, and then in 2020, because everything went online, I was doing some of the Tekken Online challenge events. My first time doing like official commentary with Bandai Namco and the Tekken team, etc., and like everything just really started blowing up from there. Then 2021, you know, similar things, a lot of online stuff. I'm going off-ban where I can. You know, Elf offline monthlies are returning. I'm winning the Elf monthlies. Around that time as well, 2020 was when I left Elf as well. You know, I've been with Elf for so long, but like I wanted to, because around 2020 was the time I was starting to go, okay, I want to be, whether I just focus on being a content creator. You know, I feel like there's good teams I could join as a content creator. I could just go from there. So, you know, I left Elf, started looking around. Then towards the end of 2020 was when I joined Noble, which was like my first like decently sized org ever being a part of. You know, got my first professional esports salary, you know, and stuff like that. And yeah, you know, 2021, you know, ICFC starting up, you know, season 1 of ICFC, or season 1 of ICFC while commentating as well, you know. I think that's really like where I established the, I don't know, the dual threat, you know, was the, you know, I think ICFC really helped establish that, because like I was commentating, like literally I was commentating and playing in the same tournament, you know, leaving to commentate, come back, you know, and then winning the tournaments as well. It wasn't like I was just like, oh, I just go out in top 32 like those American commentators. Like, no, I was winning my shit, bro. Don't tell the American commentators I said that. But yeah, and then, you know, one season when ICC was competing in season 2, and then started to take a step back, because, you know, offline was slowly returning like in 2022. You know, we had Tekken Online Challenge again in 2021, and ended up winning that for the West Europe region. I believe it was Sephi Black in the grand finals. It was, I remember that was the master event middle of the year that Super Akuma won. I finished second, but that helped me qualify to the Tekken Online Challenge finals, which was done in a similar way to the Tekken World Tour. And then I had to play Super Akuma Winners final. I won that. Actually, I remember I had to play Tetsu. So I had to play really. I had a really hard time. I had to play. I think Kalak was my first game in my group. Someone who, again, insane rivalry I've had throughout Tekken 7. But made out my group, I had to play Tetsu, and then winners final was Super Kuma, and grand finals was Sephi Black. So again, all four of those players I had met many a time over the years, go back and forth with a lot. So, you know, a lot of history behind all of those games. And yeah, I remember I beat Sephi Black in the grand finals. He reset me as well. And bro, I just remember that feeling of like, bro, West European champion. You know, I was like, bro, like I remember just having like feeling like this was good. You know, I remember just having a nice feeling like this was good. This is something I worked for. I worked hard for this, and I got to a point where I could really be happy about what I'd accomplished. And it's funny because I remember I uploaded the video around that time, just detailing my run. I called the video something like the greatest win in my career or something like that. And I remember someone left a comment and said something like oh, like, what do you mean Korea is just a game or something like that, or like something like that, like, you know, just try and discredit it. But then I remember I was speaking to Aya Richie, I think at the mix up last year. It was like a bunch of us having a conversation, and Richie was there, and he just said something like, we weren't even talking about nothing special, but he was like, what we do is like mad, didn't it? Like, he was like, you know, like we essentially play games for a living type shit, and like that's life. You know, that's something like a lot of people want to do, and like we're privileged enough to do it. He didn't articulate it quite like that. Like, yeah, I remember that really helped put into perspective for me, because people are going to be jealous, you know. People are going to try and like discredit what you do and say it's not that or whatever, but like I'm proud of what I do from time to time, you know. And that was just a moment, like I didn't let that comment get me down or nothing, but like hearing that from Richie, that's really helped me like really put it into perspective. And then 2022 happens, you know, similar year, commentating all over the gaff, doing a lot of Tekken World Tour events. My first time doing Tekken World Tour offline event commentary. And then, you know, kept going, kept working. And then, you know, Tekken World Tour returns for 2022. I qualified for regional finals. I'm one of the 16 players. I think I was number 4 on the leaderboard for West Europe. I think it went Super Kuma, Joker, Daniel Mardo, and then me. That was the top 4. And it's funny that all of them made it back to Tekken World Tour Finals last year and I didn't, but that's not important. And yeah, I believe that was the top 4. And I remember Daniel Mardo put me in a group because I was 4th. It was literally where first literally puts a player in second group, and second puts a player in third group, and then third puts a player in fourth group. That was how the seeding was done, and then fourth puts a player in first group. And Daniel Mardo literally gave me an all UK pool. In my pool, he put Kane and Trench, Aya Richie, and Rukang. And like I was literally set up for failure, because that is a group of like I think I do the worst close to home these days. So of all the European players he could have put in there, was an all UK pool, but I ended up making it out, winner's side of my group. The offline regional finals happened at UFA, and ended up winning that. You know, came out of my group on top. I had to play Tetsu in the winners semi-final. That was a match for Tekken World Tour Finals, and I beat Tetsu. And I remember just being in complete shock and disbelief, because I was a Tekken World Tour finalist. And then I remember the losers final was Joker versus Tetsu. Again, winner goes to Tekken World Tour Finals, and then Joker beat Tetsu. And again, they're both my friends, but obviously I'm closest to Joker. And you know, the fact that Joker had won that and was like, we are both going to the Tekken World Tour Finals, like, that's absolutely insane. And like that feeling was just ridiculous, you know, like the fact that, and again, I ended up winning the whole thing as well. Like, so going into Tekken 8, I am the only West European regional finals champion for Tekken 7. So again, West Europe has to hold that going into Tekken 8. And yeah, you know, did that happened. Tekken World Tour Finals, you know, happened last year. It was 2022, but it was happening in 2023. Remember, I basically finished 3rd, if you remember correctly, because the only players I lost to were John Ding and Artif, so I basically finished 3rd. But I actually, that's something I do want to talk about as well, because a lot of people came up to me at Tekken World Tour. Like some people I met for the first time. Like I met Kirisu and Feli for the first time there. And I saw a lot of like returning people there as well. But like, you know, so cool to just have people Just be like, listen, what's up? You know what? I've skipped over so many events as well. Like, just I remember there was a We Play in 2021. That was my first, like, I think, big commentary, you know, type thing that I did. You know, I think I met Tasty Steve there for the first time. We commentated together for the first time, and like it created like a ridiculous clip with me squealing. I don't even know how I made the noise.
3 seconds. 2. Spence the bar. Stay away.
Oh my god. What was that, a pig up here? What the hell was that? That was K-Wiz. What the hell? The wee.
But like, yeah, that was pretty cool. Met Arslan there for the first time. All these top players I got to meet for the first time, actually speak to for the first time, play against for the first time. I remember playing against Arslan. He's like, you're good. Why are you not competing? He's like, you can make top 8 of this tournament. I was like, oh, I'm just going. That's what I've got routed to do. I'm here to do my job, you know, type shit. But again, that was something that inspired a lot of confidence out of me. And again, it's interesting that Arslan said that, because when you fast forward to 2023, some amazing things happen there. But we're on 2022 right now, so let's hold our horses real quick. Actually, no, what year are we on? No, we're on 2023 actually, so we'll get there in a bit. But yeah, 2023, you know, another decent year all around. More of a commentary year for me, I'd say. You know, not a lot of 9th places in terms of results, Masters events, 9th in the mix-up, 9th at versus fighting. Got 8 at Brussels, but 9th at Clash of Olympians agree. So a lot of 9th place that year. Also didn't win a tournament last year. Fun fact. I think it's the first year I've not won a tournament since like maybe like 2018. I don't know. So that's interesting. But yeah, you know, kept moving forward. 2023, the finals happened. And again, I think the finals was very like, it was a very interesting moment for me because of the format of Tekken World Tour of 2022, which was the regional leaderboard. There were a lot of players that qualified that otherwise would not have had it been a global leaderboard system. And I did feel going into it like, you know, people are going to think like I didn't earn my spot. You know, I don't deserve my spot. You know, if I go out there and I just get absolutely destroyed, you know, that people are going to be like, well, another Korean could have had this spot, another, you know what I mean, type shit. So I remember that was quite a harrowing moment for me going into it. And then like I got drawn into a group with remember John Ding made it through the LCQ, we have to remember. So I get drawn into a group with, it was John Ding, Atif, Anakin, Tejan, and Callum Bukes. And Tejan from India is very good, and Callum Bukes was someone I had not real much knowledge of going into the event. So it was going into, I was like, okay, this is a tough group. You know, I didn't know it at the time, but the eventual 1st and 2nd place finisher was literally in my group. Like I knew I just couldn't go out there and get bodied, you know. But I think one thing that's been very characteristic of me over the years is like when my back is against the wall and I know I have to perform, I do. You know, I know how to do my job and I know when to do my job, and that was definitely a time to do my job. Had my first game against John Ding, which again, you know, that's a moment. This is someone who's come through the LCQ. I've qualified through the leaderboard. It's a different system this year. People are going to be wondering, did this guy really earn his spot? Would he have done it had it been a global leaderboard? Time to find out. I'm losing the first game pretty fast. But I was like, okay. You know, he came with the Eddie, which I was kind of expecting. And, you know, takes the first game. Second game goes down to a final round situation. I had to make an insane comeback to even stay alive. Right. And then I'm riding that momentum, going to the third game, Mishima Dojo. You know, we're going back and forth. I think he's 2-1 up in rounds, and I take it to a final round, have an insane low parry, take him to the wall, and then, you know, I'm in right flamingo, I have a mix-up situation. So I'm in left flamingo, mix-up situation, and I go low, I do down 3-4, he blocks and launches me. And to this day, I just think if I went mid against John Ding, who knows what could have happened. You know, I could have made it out of my group. You know, I could have been in the top 8, but either way, did the low, he blocked a punish, took me to the wall. And just momentum was on his side. John Ding's a very momentum heavy player. And second game, Atif Bot. Going into this event, I'm like, okay, here we go. You know, this guy might be the best player in Pakistan. And if it's not, you're like, it's Arsenal. So stiff competition either way. And, you know, I'm like, okay, this is going to be tough. And again, I had like a huge, like, annoying misinput in the first game. He did like EXDP, and I did back 3. But it came out as quarter circle back 3, which is orange throw, which was like really annoying because maybe I could have done some damage and won the first game. He takes the first game again, go to Island Paradise. I bring it back, final round, win that game, final round of the third game, infinite Azure, and some down threes, man, some down. But again, it's like I had the reads on them. I should have low parried them. I didn't. Like, one of my biggest problems in gameplay is like having reads and not believing in them. But I lost to those two. And I just said to myself, okay, because we played, if you remember the Tekken 1 Tour Finals last year, every person played 2 games on the day of the LCQ. So if you win the finals, everyone played their first 2 games on the day of the LCQ. Then the rest of the groups would be done on the next day. And so I played those first 2 games, went back to hotel, and was like, okay, I lost my first 2 games. I kept them close. There were 2-1s. They weren't 2-0s. But if I want to make it out of the group, I just have to win every game tomorrow. Like, that was my absolute goal. I have to win every single game tomorrow, which was interesting because one of the players I'd have to beat is Anakin. You know, I had Anakin in my group. And I remember thinking, you know, regardless of who you've got, it just has to be a win. You know, every single game has to be a win. And I knew I had to get 2-0s on the board as well, just to have a chance of making it out. And it's funny because like the last time me and Anakin had played officially was at Combo Breaker 2022, the NA versus EU 10v10. Another thing I didn't even mention because there's so much to talk about in this journey of Tekken 7. But yeah, I remember Anakin won that. It went to a final game, not a final round. Anakin ended up taking it. But like, this is someone again I knew I could beat. Like, I don't think anyone is unbeatable, and I never have, and I never will. You know, that's just who I am as a person, as a competitor. And get into that game, you know, second day, 3 players I have to beat them: Tajan, Callum Bukes, Anakin. First game, Tajan. I win that 2-0. He picks Nina. He's a Nina main, but he picks Nina and Zafina. First game was Nina, and that was close. Then he switched to Zafina, and I was like, okay, I've won this. Because he was playing the matchup. Warren versus Zafina is a terrible matchup, but he clearly wasn't a Zafina main. So I said to myself, okay, I've got this, won that. And the next game was Anakin. And I was like, I have to win this game. You know, if I want to make it through the group, I literally have to win this game. There's no way around it. So playing against Anakin, I lose the first round fast. The first game fast. I couldn't break any throws as well. But that entire game, I didn't break throws. Second game, literally switched it on him. You know, same situation, a fast win, but for me, then we go to a final game, final round situation. I end up clutching it out. And it created one of my favorite pictures of me that I have to this day. I'm a big fan of the picture that came from that. And yeah, so I was like, okay, I beat Anakin 2-1. Last game, Callum Bukes playing Eddie, and I 2-0'd him just off. I don't know, I was playing off pure, I don't know what it was that day, but I was on smoke. Beat him 2-0, and then my tournament life was left in Anakin and John Ding's hands, because Anakin and John Ding had to play, and if Anakin won, I was through, and if John Ding won, I was out, and John Ding went through instead. And John Ding ended up winning. It was close. Anakin took the first game. It looked like Anakin was going to win, but then John Ding never counted him out. He won that. My Tekken Water was done. But a 9th place, which was basically 3rd when you think about it, a 9th place at the finals, something I really went home not happy with, but I knew it was an accomplishment in of itself, because the losses that I took could have so easily gone the either way. And it was annoying. It was heartbreaking, but definitely something to hang my hat on for the future. And you know, the rest of 2023 was pretty decent to me as well. Again, more of a commentary year. You know, there was Gamers 8, you know, and I mentioned it. You know, Gamers 8 was another back against the wall situation that we had. Because obviously, you know, it was a team tournament. Team UK was me, Joker, and Ghost Saint, and I was the team captain. And our group was Thailand, Ivory Coast, and Australia, and definitely not an easy. It was one of the easier groups, if we're being honest. When you have teams like Korea, Japan, Germany, France, US, you know, definitely one of the easier groups we could have had, but not an easy group by any means. And you know, our first match in Ivory Coast, we win that. Close game where Joker lost to Akon. He was definitely a big problem. When we was looking at the team, was like, this guy's going to be an issue. Like Akon, we have to be worried about him, you know. But Gosain wins that. Gosain lost to Akon, but I beat Shaoling, and Joker beat Skywalker. Then we had to play Australia, and I remember before we played Australia, we didn't feel like we kept testing the setup over and over again, because there was the mainstream setup and the side stream setup. And the side stream setup, like, there were just so many issues with the setup, the monitors, it was just really laggy. And before the game, we didn't feel great, about the setup, but like we wasted a lot of time. I say wasted time, but a lot of time had gone by. We hadn't played, we just had to start playing really. I played my first game, laggy as hell. But I won against 6 Weetabix. Then Gosen to play Bobby and he lost, and then Joker had to play Yagami. And even Yagami was at the TWT Finals literally early that year, so we knew how good he was. And Joker beat him when they played in the finals, but you know, Yagami picked a different character this time, ended up taking it. And then, you know, we thought, okay, like if we want to get through now, we have to beat Thailand, which is obviously Book's team. You know, so we have to beat Thailand to get through. And that was the team we really was strategizing for heavy, because we're like, our main problem was like, who beats Book, who plays Book, because you select the order in which your players play. And so basically how it goes, there was a first game that's first of 2 rounds, and whoever wins that first of 2 rounds, like each team sends up a player to play that first of 2 rounds, and the winner gets to force the other team to pick to make the pick of who they're going to send up first, and then we as a team will counter. So we played Thailand. I went up for the selector match, and they sent up Shinakuma for the selector match. I beat Shinakuma, and then they send up Shinakuma to play first. And our plan was very simple. Gosen does not play Shinakuma. That was the first of our plan, because Gosen does terrible against Akuma, and 2Ds in general was like, Gosen does not play Shinakuma. That was it. Either me or Joker play Shinakuma, because we have good records against Super Akuma. I did well against Atif. Joker's gone to Pakistan. He's playing against Akuma, so that was our plan. Shinakuma goes up first, and then our decision was, okay, so me and Joker knew at that point, okay, which one of us is going to play Book, because we knew Book would be their last guy from that point on. So our plan going into it was Joker plays Shinakuma, Gosen plays Pat Luaz, who was their Lily player, and then I would play Book. So we had said I was going to be the one to play Book when it came down to it, because Joker had also played Book before, but he had lost to him at CEO. So we were a bit worried about that, but we knew Joker could do it if he had to. But it came down to be me as well, because again, we'd seen Book play against Huarun before and look a bit shaky in the matchup. So that kind of really came down to what the final decision was going to be. You know, Joker beats Shinakuma. Gosen beats Pat Luaz by the skin of his teeth. That was a very scary game. And if you watch Tiger Uppercut, Pat Luaz made top 8. You know how good that guy is. But Gosen wins that game. It's up to me versus Book. I win this game, we are through. If I lose this game, we then have to play another game. Book probably goes up again, and we have to decide what's going to go from there. So, you know, I was like, okay, there's a lot of pressure. It's first of 3 action. Can I do it? And it also was very simple. I could 3-0'd Book. I played crazy in my mind. You know, in my mind, I just played crazy. Managed to take it 3-0. And then one thing is, we knew our team was actually on the winner's side when I won that. So again, that was a crazy moment for our team, because everyone pulled out the win. Everyone played their best, and it ended up getting us a winner's side finish as well, which was huge. Then we had the game against Pakistan, which by this point, you guys know everything you used to know about that game. I've talked about it many a time. So I'll try and do the short version this time. Gosen versus Khan. Gosen gets robbed by Forgotten Realm for 1 combo. I'll never forget that combo as long as I live. I went up next because they sent up Khan, and our plan was Gosen. Our plan going into this was Gosen plays Khan, Joker plays Arslan, I play Atif. I almost beat Atif at the finals. I know play very well against Akuma, and Joker was confident against Arslan. That was our plan going into it. I went up second, expecting them to send up Atif. They send up Arslan. It's just me versus Arslan. Probably the best player in the world. I end up winning 2-0. Big moment. But you can say it didn't mean anything in the end, because Joker then ended up losing to Atif afterwards, which a bit unfortunate. Then we played Japan the next day, and you know, that game was I don't like thinking about that one, because there was like a 20-minute tech delay which really ruined Gosen's momentum. Then we made a misplay sending Joker for Chikarin. I really should have gone against Chikarin. And then me versus Nobi didn't go well. So, you know, that was game as 8. And yeah, just the rest of 2023, it's very recent. So I don't think I really need to catch through most of it. But then, you know, I'm going to cut straight forward to the present here, because we've just come off the Tekken Tour Finals 2023, happened in 2024, where I appeared as a commentator, which was pretty big, you know, in multiple reasons, because that 19 to 20, I forgot how old it was when I started, but that 19/20-year-old kid that turned up to his first tournament thinking he's going to beat everyone, playing Tekken competitively for the first time in Tekken 7, leaves Tekken 7 as the only person to appear at the Tekken World Tour Finals as a player and a commentator, which is absolutely ridiculous when I just think of what I've accomplished during my time playing this game. And it's just, I mean, again, I'm probably going to start winding down now because I don't know how long I've been talking. This video is probably close to an hour long. I hope it's not. But you know, the fact that I was able to do everything that I did in this game, I do feel really blessed. I think I feel like I'm in a very privileged position right now, and I literally have the game of Tekken 7 to thank for that, because I do not know what I would be doing at this point in time if it wasn't for this game. It sounds stupid and corny and sentimental, but it's the truth when I say that this game changed my life. And we move on to the next chapter where who knows what's next. You know, who knows what is accomplished next when it comes to this game. I'll be competing hard. I'll still be playing Hwaring. I want to play all the new characters, Reina, Victor, Azucena, maybe some Devil Jin Dragunov, who knows. But yeah, I think my first goal in this game is to compete and get back on the team. I think that's goal number one. You know, we have bigger teams getting into Tekken right now. Cloud9 with Kadokura and Yu, Team Liquid with Shadow, FaZe, Jury Fury and HK, you know, etc, etc. You know, Fate literally just picked up Jod not too long ago, so that's step one for me. Get back on the team, get grinding, and hopefully make you guys proud. I feel that's weird to say. Like, some of my favorite moments are like when I'm like in a tournament or I'm competing in a tournament over the weekend, and like I've not uploaded the video or something, but I get like a comment on one of my videos from one of you guys that's like, oh, I just saw your match or something like that, you know. And I don't know, like the stuff like that really warms my heart. So thank you guys for that, and everything you've done throughout the course of this game. Yeah, there's a launch party tonight for Tekken 8. I will be there. By the time I get home, I will be streaming Tekken 8. I'll probably be doing the story mode. I'll let you guys know. I'll be streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I'll upload my story mode footage. Probably I'll try and do it in one video, but I've heard it's hours long, so I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't want to do multiple parts, but I don't know. I'll see how I feel when it comes down to it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you've made it this far in and you listened to everything I had to say, I really do appreciate that, because I was a bit of a rambling Randy in this one. So I genuinely, I can't say enough how much I appreciate each and every single one of you that takes time out of your days to watch my videos or come to my streams, or like some people literally say, I watched one just because you're in it, you know, stuff like that. I genuinely do appreciate it, and I hope that support continues in Tekken 8. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in Tekken 8.